Warm greetings and welcome everybody to the 2021 Sanghamitta Day, celebrating our four mothers who established and assured the continuity of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. We are going to begin this morning with a puja chanting led by Ayyā Vimalañāni at the Anenja Vihara.
Good evening from Germany and good morning or good afternoon, wherever it is. I'm going to share the screen if I can. Okay. So that we have the text.
Can you make her a... Okay.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantam Abhivādimi Savakhato Bhagavata Dhammam Namasami.
Sucintā Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho
Sanghamitta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tankopana bhagavantam evaṁ kalayano kittisatu apukkato iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vicchacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati savakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko vipassiko Upanayiko pachatang viditapo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Uccupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Atta purisa purkala Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ahuneyo Ahuneyo Nakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttaram Punyakitam Lokasati. Samanta Caccavalesu Atra gaccantu Devata Sadhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Saggamokkhadan Sage kame tarupe kirishikaratate chantarike vimane Diperate chagame taruvanagane geyavatumikete Ummachayantu deva Jalatalavisame yakakandhabanaga Tidhanta santikeyam munivaravachanam sadhavome Sunantu Dhammasavanakalo Ayam Madhanta Dhammasavanakalo Ayam Madhanta Dhammasavanakalo Ayam Madhanta Evam nesutam ekam samayam bhagava savatiyam viharati jetavane anata pinrikassa arame tatra ko bhagava bhikkhu amantesi mikkavoti Bhadanti tite bhikkhu bhagavato pachasosam bhagava etatavocha chaime bhikkhave dhammasaraniya piyakarana garukarana sanghaya avivadaya samakya Eki bhavaya samvattanti katamecha idha bhikkhave bhikkhuno mettam kaya kammam pachupatthitang hoti sa brahmacharisu avichevarahocha Ayam pidhammo saraniyo piyakarano garukarano sanghaya avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattati Punata param bhikkhave bhikkhuno mettam vachikammam pachupatthitang hoti sa brahmacharisu avichevarahocha ayam pidhammo saraniyo piyakarano garukarano sanghaya Avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattati Punata parang bhikkhave bhikkhuno mettam mano kammang patsupakritang hoti sa brahmacharisu avicevara hocha ayam pidhammo saraniyo piyakarano garukarano sanghaya avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattati punacha parang bhikkhave bhikkhuyete labha dhammika dhammaladha antamaso patta pariyapannamattampi tatharupehi laphehi aparti vibhadha bhogi hoti Sīlavantehi sabrahmacharehi sadharana bhogi ayam pidhammo saraniyo piyakarano garukarano sanghaya avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattati punacha parang bhikkhave bhikkhuyani tani silani akandrani achittani asabalani akhammasani bhujisani vinyupasatrani aparamattani samadhi sanvattanikhani tatharupesu silesu sila samanyagato viharati sa brahmacharihi avicevara hocha ayam pidhammo saraniyo piyakarano garukarano sanghaya avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattati punacha parang bhikkhave bhikkhuyayam ditti ariya niyanika niyati takkarassa samadukha khayaya tatharupaya dittiya ditti samanyagato viharati sa brahmacharihi avicevara hocha ayam pidhammo saraniyo piyakarano garukarano sanghaya avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattati ime ko bhikkhave tadhamma saraniya piyakarana garukarana sanghaya avivadaya samakya eki bhavaya samvattanti idam vocha bhagava attamana-te bhikkhu bhagavatu bhasitam apinandunti imina punya kammena upachaya gunuttara Acharya upakara chamata pita tanyakapa Suryo chandi maharaja gunavantana rapicha Brahma maharaja inda cha lokapala cha devata Yamo mitta manusa cha machata vedika picha Sape satta sukhi hontu punyani pakatani me Sukhancha tividham dentu kipang papita vumatam Imina punya kammina imina uddisena cha Kipahang sulabheteva Thanupadanachiranam Ye santane hina dhamma Yava nibbanatu mamam Nasantu sappadayeva Yatha jatu bhave bhave Uchuchitang satipanya Sallikho vidyang hina Marala bhantu loka sankatuncha virisume Buddhati pavaro nato dhammo nato varuttamo nato pachekka buddhocha sangho nato taro mama te suttamanu bhavena maroka sanglapantu ma.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We'll now have 15 minutes of silent meditation together. Thank you, Ayyā Vimalañāni, for the chanting, and everyone for joining together in this silent meditation time, feeling the connection through the waves of cyberspace. Now, my colleague, Ayyā Vimalañāni, is going to be introducing the panelists, but who's going to introduce you? Ayyā Vimalañāni, originally ordained as a Sīladhara at Amaravati in that tradition in 2006, the same year that I received my, was it 2006 or 3?
2004 for me.
2004. So we are almost colleagues in at the same year in monastic life. I started my novice form in 2003. She started as a Sīladhara in 2004. And this year, Ayyā Vimalañāni converted to the Bhikkhuni form this past September. So with that, I invite you to speak.
Thank you so much, Ayyā. A warm welcome to everybody. It's just really wonderful to see you all there. I'm especially honoured to begin by introducing Ayyā Sucintā Mahātherī. Thank you so much, Ayyā Sucintā, for joining us today. I'd like to say a few words about you just before we have the pleasure of hearing you speak. Ayyā Sucintā was born in Germany, and she began her monastic life as an anagarika at Amaravati in 1991. She ordained as a samaneri with Bhante Gunaratana in 1994. And she trained with him at the Bhavana Society in West Virginia for 5 years. Then Bhante Gunaratana supported Ayyā Sucintā's full ordination in Bodh Gaya, India, in 1998. After she spent several years practicing meditation and studying Dharma in Myanmar, Ayyā helped to build up viharas for bhikkhunis in South Carolina, California, and at the invitation of the Buddhist Society of Victoria, she helped to found a nuns' monastery in a Melbourne suburb also. In 2010, Ayyā Sucintā was asked to be the abbess of Anenja Vihara in southern Germany. She lived there until the end of 2017. After that, she practiced in Thailand for some time, and in 2019, she was invited by Tibetan Bhikkhunīs to live at the newly founded Tilorien Monastery in northern Germany. So Ayyā Sucintā, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much, Ayyā Vimalañāni. Yeah, I have been asked to say a few words at this Sanghamitta Day, which I think is a very good opportunity to talk about the revival of the Bhikkhuni lineage, how it has developed, and how it's going to develop further. Yeah, so you have heard maybe from my as I was introduced that my life as a bhikkhuni was a little bit of zigzag. I don't want to talk so much about that, at least not in detail. Also not about my current situation, which is with the Tibetan tradition, and this is a temporary state. I have not run over to another tradition, but I actually feel very grateful to that I have the opportunity to practice in the Theravada tradition. And so I also I realized that big changes have happened since I would say 1988. That was already a time when I started to think about ordaining. And at that time, there was no way to ordain in Germany, at least. Yeah. So, but there was already a Buddhist monastery in England, and I was very glad that I had this chance to visit. And I thought, oh well, being an Anagayika there in this big monastery, and especially the kitchen was really putting me off. But then it turned out that it was, so to speak, my it was my task to start there. And I'm meanwhile also very grateful for this opportunity. And I still feel connected to the Ajahn Chah tradition. And I learned a lot about monastic life. At that time, I think it was really the very best training one could have as a nun. But nevertheless, I then decided to leave and to go to Banteji, whom I had met before. And so it was a very difficult decision. And up to this day, I'm still, I feel a bit sad that women cannot or can only to some extent actually join this order if we want to be Bhikkhuni. Because I felt when I joined, when I was there at a Siladhara ordination, I felt this, I'm not going to do that. And I knew actually from Ayyā Khema, who is also German, that it would be possible to be a Bhikkhuni. And actually, Ayyā Khema is not the only one who was ordained already in 1988. That's, in my opinion, kind of the beginning of a revival of the Bhikkhuni order, which of course was not was not a one person's task or one person's merit, so to speak, but many actually contributed. So it was Ayyā Khema who was ordained in 1988, and also another German Bhikkhuni actually who is still alive. And the Bhikkhuni who is now living here with me at Shide Monastery, the Tibetan monastery, she also was ordained at the same ordination. And this is also something I would like to mention, that these pioneers, these very first pioneers actually faced a lot of difficulties that maybe nowadays we have already a bit forgotten. I also know about an American woman who finally gave up her Bhikkhuni vows, because her Bhikkhuni robe, so to speak, because she practiced at the Mahayana tradition, and she could not live up to the precepts of a Theravada Bhikkhuni, and that was very frustrating for her. So she didn't want to live with this conflict all the time, but she was still living very much a spiritual life. So just to mention that, so I feel we are also, for me, I'm also grateful to them. We should not forget them in any case. I myself went to the Bhavana Society and to other countries, which of course was a great chance for me to get the chance to be ordained with Banteji. And in the United States, you had some different conditions which made the start for the Bhikkhunis maybe a little bit easier. Only now, at that point, we come to that situation that we have more Bhikkhunis, more than 4 actually right now. And this is a very new development. and we have more possibilities for further development. I myself have in mind to participate in the winter retreat this year, or actually next year, starting at the end of December. And Ayyā Tisaranī will later on speak a little bit more about this new monastery. Maybe for me, still to mention that I spoke about the Ajahn Chah tradition, that I actually feel quite glad that I had the opportunity on various occasions to spend at least some time at monasteries of the Ajahn Chah tradition. Just recently in Switzerland, and also the former abbot of Dhammapala Monastery was very supportive. For example, when we had one Bhikkhuni ordination so far in Germany, and he was one of those who participated in person. So and also I had the chance when I was in Thailand in 2018 to spend quite some time at monasteries of the Ajahn Chah tradition in Thailand. Yeah, so it is not that they say no, Bhikkhuni, no, but when they realize that we actually practice sincerely, earnestly, that they are also willing to support. But another thing is, of course, to support actively and so on. Yeah, but for me, it feels important to actually mention that, because here in Europe, for us, this has been, this is maybe a little bit of a special thing, that we have Amaravati and the Siladhara training, which at that time when it got started was probably also really a good idea, and also with effort and it seems that actually now the Bhikkhunis are growing, and we can connect with the roots, with Mahapajapati, actually the Buddha himself, and Mahapajapati Gautami and Sanghamitta, and we have the Vinaya, the Bhikkhuni Vinaya, as our basis. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you. And now I want to pass on to next Bhikkhuni to speak, I think from Germany probably as well. Well, giving back to you, Ayyā Vimalañāni. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for opening our meeting with your words, and so wonderful to hear from you. And really feel it leaves me with a great sense of inspiration, because I feel that the early pioneering nuns have really paved the way for so many of us to begin now to follow. And on that note, I'd like to introduce another elder, Ayyā Vimalañāni, and thanking you so much for the beautiful puja. That was really uplifting, and I felt that the verse on the teaching on metta was so appropriate for this gathering and this day. I'd like to say a few words about you, Ayyā Vimalañāni, and then also perhaps to introduce Ayyā Anuviditā, who's also, I know, there with you. And then perhaps you can both say some words together. First yourself and then Ayyā Anuviditā. Before I launch into the introductions, I'd like to give a warm, warm welcome to Ayyā Soma, who's joined us from Italy. Hello, Ayyā, and welcome to our meeting. So wonderful to have you with us. So just to start, say a few words about Ayyā Vimalañāni Therī, with big gratitude for you also joining us today. Ayyā Vimalañāni has practiced meditation since the age of about 19, after a meeting with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. She started reading the Pali Canon at this young age and encountered Zen Buddhism in Dusseldorf. Her first meditation retreat was at Sogenji Temple in Japan with Shodo Harada Roshi. And this was in 1982. After the retreat, Ayyā meditated and followed the Buddha's teachings while also following her career as an actress and a comedian. Ayyā went to Thailand in 2007 and she met the monk teachers Ajahn Noah and, most importantly, Ajahn Tong and Ajahn Supong. This had a life-changing impact and led to her taking on the robes. And Ayyā Vimalañāni was lucky enough to go into Brown and to practice with the 10 precepts from that time. And then in 2010, she received the Bhikkhuni Upasampada with Ayyā Tataloka at Aranya Bodhi Hermitage, at the same time as Venerables Adimurti and also Ayyā Suwijana. As a bhikkhuni, Ayyā Vimalañāni trained for some time with Ayyā Tataloka and also visited Sri Lanka and Australia. And she spent many years practicing in Thailand at Wat Rampoeng. And the last 5 years there, she was at Wat Kong Pang, which is a very small, remote and poor mountain forest monastery. Ayyā has just recently, well, not so recently, Ayya's been invited to take up the role of abbess at Anenja Vihara, and she's been practicing and supporting the community there since April 2018. A few words about my twin sister, Ayyā Anuviditā. We ordained together in September. Ayyā Anuviditā first came in contact with practicing Buddhists and the monastic lifestyle in 2012 at Tilorien Monastery. Immediately she felt a sense of urgency to focus on what really matters, and she quit her job, which was a very good job. She was working on an agricultural project for people with special needs. But then she started to try to put the practice at the center of her life and just let other things take care of themselves. She spent much of her time in or near monasteries and also house sitting and farm sitting for people. So she became like a homeless person at that point. Over time, she quite naturally started to consider the monastic life. And in 2017, she met Ayyā Vimalañāni at Muttadaya when Ayyā Vimalañāni was over from Thailand visiting. Ayyā Vimalañāni invited Ayyā Anuviditā to visit her in Thailand, and she went there. She took Anagarika precepts there. And then she returned to Germany and joined Ayyā Vimalañāni pretty soon, about 2 weeks after Ayyā Vimalañāni arrived at Anenja Vihara. Ayyā Anuviditā received seminary precepts in January of 2019, and then Ayyā Vimalañāni sent her to America this year to prepare for and receive the full ordination in September. So may I invite you, Ayyā Vimalañāni, to share with us now. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us to this Sanghamitta Day celebration and for your lovely introduction. And yes, I'm so happy to see so many nuns, so many bhikkhunis and nuns of other ordination forms. This is great, and it really made me think of who else is here. Who else can we invite? But this started late, so I came up very late with the ideas. But yes, it's very important that we also, as women and bhikkhunis and nuns, find our heroines to have something for ourselves to lift us up, because life, Ayyā Sucintā said it already, as a bhikkhuni can be burdensome sometimes. Although I have to say, we here at Anenja Vihara are really so well supported, and it's great. I just wanted to show you. It looks as if Anuviditā and myself are in different rooms, but in fact, we are sitting very next to each other, and just are working with two computers. So here at Anenja Vihara, you mentioned it already. It started for me, or for us, in April 2018, when Ayyā Sucintā left here to retire, which was very well deserved after a time here. And the monastery was closed for some months in winter. And then in April 2018, we reopened. First, I came and stayed here to get to know everything with one of the board members. And as you said, short after, Anuviditā came here, and it didn't take long to have other women pouring in, so to say, coming and being interested. And some of them are already, as you may see behind Anuviditā, there are more seminaries, and these are not all nuns of Anenja Vihara. We are in total 6 nuns here. One of them is presently in Cambodia and supporting another bhikkhuni, Ayyā Vimalañāni, and maybe will stay a little bit on to study Abhidhamma, and so I just spoke with her today. So 6 nuns presently, and the monastery is getting small. So we have ideas of somehow extending. We don't know how, we don't know where, but these are just ideas. We have done a lot in this monastery since we came. We have repaired parts of the roof. We have a new heating system installed. We have done so many things, all with the support of the people. So, because Ayyā Sucintā said it is difficult, but she also said that now it is not as difficult anymore as it was in the beginning for the pioneers. And I really feel that we can really build on what they did, what, for example, Ayyā Khema did for us here. Her place is very close to us. We can walk there within 20 minutes, the Buddha house. And she was so well known and well received that we actually, I think, still up to this day, although she departed and died long ago, we still benefit of her presence here. So all the people around this monastery, even though they are Christians, they are very helpful and very supportive and make life easy and make us feel welcome here. And that is something that is maybe in Germany not everywhere the case. Is it time to share already with Anuviditā? Because I just wanted to introduce our monastery a little bit. And Anuviditā would like to talk about a little bit about the monastic life here at the monastery. So please, Anuviditā, go ahead.
Yes,
Mikrofon.
Nee, ich nehme das, oder? Besser, weil sonst gibt es Gepiepse. Do you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Yes, as Ayyā Vimalañāni already mentioned, we are 6 nuns here with Seminary Chitindara at the moment at Cambodia. And yes, we are all, except of Ayyā Vimalañāni, all still in training. So it's like a lot of energy of really like growing into this monastic lifestyle and really to learn about what it needs and how to what it means to be a nun and what is important and everything, all of this. Yeah, that's yeah. And we in our practice here, we usually do like we work like on blocks, maybe could say like that. Maybe we for some weeks we work very intense on Vinaya studies, and then at the moment we are working together on concentration, on development of samadhi. And at the beginning of COVID, we had a few weeks or even months where we worked on metta together, and that's really nice because it creates like a group spirit a little bit. Of course, we're all working on the same topic a little bit, and you can help each other, and it's very nice. Yes, it's a nice way to work different topics. Yes, and our daily routine is in the morning we do a little bit chores, and in the afternoon we have time for our individual practice normally. And yes, I don't know what would be interesting for you. We are very fortunate we can go on alms 2 or 3 times a week. We go on alms, and it's a very nice and very touching thing. And well, I don't know. I'm not sure what is interesting. Yeah, still 2 minutes, so no. I don't know if you have any special questions that you would like to have answered, maybe, I don't know.
Thank you so much, Ayyā Anuviditā, and thank you, Ayyā Vimalañāni. It's really, that so gives a picture of Anenja Vihara, how it is now, and also some sort of background that's really helpful. And I'm hoping we may have time at the end of everyone's sharings for like questions. So let's see if there's any more questions, but I'm really grateful for your sharing, and just to see you there, also, all of you there, and to see the space is really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I do have a comment so far. What is really alive for me is the worldwide web of support for one another, having these very powerful experiences in Thailand with the Thai teachers, around the world with the teachers in the home countries of Buddhism, and then as well between America and Europe. Even in the listening today, as Ayyā Soma was greeted before, well, so she is from New York, where we first met her on Long Island, but as an Italian American with strong cultural connections to Europe, and now happens to be visiting there in Italy. So it really is a kind of a fertilization or a cross-fertilization of support and growth around the world. Yeah.
Thank you, Ayyā. I'd like to move on and introduce Ayyā Vimalañāni next. And Ayyā Vimalañāni actually is not able to join us, as it turns out, but she's very kindly produced a video which we're going to show. And before we do that, I'd like to introduce her to everybody. Because Ayyā Vimalañāni is a non-binary Sangha member, and I have to apologize because I'm not very good at all at remembering to speak correctly use the correct pronouns. And I know how important that is, and so please forgive me if I make any more mistakes. Ayyā Vimalañāni was interested in meditation also, like Ayyā Vimalañāni, from a very young age. But she didn't come into contact with Buddhism until 2001. Thank you. Sorry. They spent some time practicing in the Goenka tradition and then took a temporary ordination in Tilorien Monastery in Burma, in Myanmar. And this was in 2008. After they met with several bhikkhunis and also Ajahn Brahm, they became interested in full ordination. And this was really with a wish to support the bhikkhuni lineage and to pave the way for people to take up full ordination. All people. They spent time in monasteries in Germany and in Australia, and then they took higher ordination as a bhikkhuni in Los Angeles in 2016 with Ayyā Gunasari from Mahapajapati Monastery as preceptor. In Australia, they met Bhante Sujato and joined the Sutta Central team in 2013. And over the years, they've added lots of wonderful Sutta translations and also parallels to the Sutta Central site. Very much inspired by Bhante Sujato, Ayyā Vimalañāni also has written several articles on the challenges and also discrimination faced by women and also LGBTIQA+ people in the Buddhist world, in the kind of Buddhist establishments. They're also one of the founding members of Sanghamitta ASBL, which was set up in 2015 to help to start a monastery in Europe. And they then went on to found Tilorien Monastery in 2017. This is a monastic community based on early Buddhist teachings, and it's set up to provide a place of practice for bhikkhunis and other female monastics, and also to support the LGBTIQA+ community and other underrepresented groups to develop in Dharma. We're going to hear more about Tilorien just now in this really beautiful video that Ayyā Vimalañāni that they've shared with us. So here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Venerables, on this Sanghamitta day. My name is Venerable Vimalā, and I want to present Tilorien Monastery in Belgium to you. But first, to express my sincere gratitude to Ayyā Tateloka for organizing this event and for her tireless efforts to further the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So, this is our logo. The name Tilorien consists of the Pali word Ti, which obviously means three, and the word Lorien, which means crowned with laurels in the Old Wallon language of the area. So those crowned with laurels are the highest and most worthy of respect in this culture. So that's why we felt it was appropriate to use this symbol here. So it basically refers to the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Now, Tilorien Monastery is a monastic community based on the early Buddhist teachings with a strong emphasis on equality, inclusivity, and environmental sustainability. So the monastery is a place of practice primarily for bhikkhunis and other female monastics, but also for LGBTIQA+ people, because there's so few places for them to practice in the world, and they often feel excluded. Even though most of you will say it's like, yeah, they're welcome, but it doesn't always feel to them that way. So we want to make an effort to make them feel welcome. And therefore we also have this logo encircled with the rainbow symbol of inclusivity at our gate. And let me see, Ayyā Anandabodhi is the spiritual advisor of the monastery. Now this is the main building, and we started building in 2017, and in 2019 it was finally finished. Most of the inside work, including the electrics, plumbing, underfloor heating, etc., were done by the Bhikkhunis together with many volunteers. So in the spirit of environmental sustainability, it's a low energy building. So you can see the solar panels on the roof, and next to that we also have a heat recuperation system and a rainwater recuperation system which supplies water for the toilets and the washing machine. So, and there's also a wastewater purification system. So this is a picture of the main building from a distance and showing our neighbors. So these are Highlander cows who are there for conservation purposes. We have also planted a number of trees. In the long run, that will provide some shady places for meditation. This is the meditation hall and the kitchen inside the main building, and the main building also has 2 rooms for lay supporters and an office, a bathroom and a toilet. And this is the first kuti, and the first kuti was finished in 2019, and currently we have 2 finished kutis for monastics, and a third one is currently being built. And last year during lockdown, we also constructed an extra toilet and bathroom. So one of the kutis could also function as a quarantine kuti and has also been used as such. And this is a couple of more pictures. So on the left, you see a walking meditation path. In the middle is like a secluded meditation spot in the garden, as well as our monastery cat. And this area is an area where there was a very large battle during the Second World War, the Battle of the Bulge. And this is still something that's very much alive here, as you can see. And this is this German cemetery, which is only a few kilometers from the monastery. And here are a few impressions of the surroundings. The monastery borders a national park, so there are many places in the spring and summer where you can sit and meditate, and you don't get too much interruption there. If you know your way around, there's plenty of places where people just don't come. Now, in the beginning, before the lockdown, we had a number of visits from a number of Bhikkhunīs, as well as Sayalays, Anagarikas, Bhante Sujato also visited in 2019. We held a 4-day retreat, other events at the monastery, and established a weekly sutta discussion group for the locals. But, well, like in most places in 2020, we had to close down due to COVID-19. And because it was quite an unsettling time for many people, we then founded the Tilorien Sangha. So basically, we put our whole program of daily silent meditations and chantings online, as well as guided meditations on Saturday nights. And in the beginning, we also offered weekly talks by Bhikkhunis and bhikkhus from all around the world, and also had visitors from all around the world, actually. There was a Vesak day-long inside dialogue workshops that especially Venerable Anopama started together with several lay teachers. And this basically led to peer groups starting. So one does a weekly Dhamma contemplation, and a number of monastics visits this group regularly. And I've been told that this group is unique in the world, so that we get a lot of visitors there from, especially from the Americas, North and South America both. And also teachers like Gregory Kramer occasionally come and drop in for a visit. So then another peer group has started that meets twice a month for discussing the teachings together, listening to Dhamma talks, etc. So, and we only recently opened up again for visitors, so people could come and stay at the monastery, and since then we've been booked full. But we were also very blessed with the first visit of a Theri Bhikkhuni, namely Ayyā, and she and Venerable Anopama offered a day-long at Tilorien, and the Ayyā Sangha and the peer groups are also continuing. And we have a small Dhamma contemplation group in French at the monastery that meets every week. And we also offer a small program online in German. So thank you very much for listening and giving me the opportunity to present Tilorien Monastery to you. And I hope I will be able to meet all of you in person one day. So thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Big thank you to Ayyā Vimalañāni for their presentation. So beautifully done. It's so lovely to see the new building at Tilorien with very eco-friendly and thoughtful building. It's beautiful. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our next speaker. Very grateful to you for joining us. Ayyā Vimalañāni. And I'd like to say a few words about you, and then I'll invite you to speak. Thank you for being here. Ayyā Vimalañāni, also a German Bhikkhuni, has been a nun for about 8 years. She lived in Asia for several years and has just recently returned to Germany. Currently, she's staying in Berlin in a Dharma center together with 2 Mahayana Bhikkhunīs. Ayyā Vimalañāni has a special interest in early Buddhist texts, as many of us know, and in the lifestyle of nuns in the time of the Buddha. And she does research, translates sutras and texts on monastic discipline from the ancient Chinese into English. Now, this is a great service. Ayyā is also an artist, and she publishes Dharma doodles under the pseudonym of Venerable Yoda. They are awesome. She has she was co-organizer of the Terrigata Festival, which was a 2-week celebration of the poems of the ancient Buddhist nuns, the Arahant nuns, and that took place in May of this year. And she's also recently taught a 3-month-long course on the foremost Theris of old, the nuns at the time of the Buddha, really giving a lot of background information, which was completely new to me, a lot of it. So bringing to light our earliest Bhikkhuni sisters. Big gratitude for this work, Ayyā. She's also interested in discussions around the evolution of gender roles and also the representation of women throughout the history of Buddhism. Currently, Ayyā Vimalañāni is working on translations of the 5 Chinese Bhikkhuni Vinyas into English. So good. I'm looking forward to enjoying the results of your endeavours, Ayyā. Thank you so much again for joining us. I'm really looking forward to hearing a few words from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm so happy to join you today. It was a little bit last minute that I was notified of the meeting, but I'm so happy to join. And yeah, I was told that I can share my screen to show a few photos of the new Forest Monastery we are planning to start here. So hopefully that has worked and you can see that. So I'm currently staying in Berlin. As Ayyā Brahmavara said, I'm staying together with 2 Mahayana nuns in the Miaopa Center for Meditation and Chan Buddhism. And one of the nuns, our abbess, is from the Chan Buddhist tradition. So Chan, Chinese Zen, she was trained for a very long time in Chongtai Monastery in Taiwan. And the other nun is from Thich Nhat Hanh's tradition. She was trained in Plum Village. And the 3 of us are living together here in Berlin at the moment. But we are also at the moment building up a new forest monastery and retreat center called Wassermond, or Water Moon in English. And this is in Guben, also in Germany, but on the border to Poland. So way outside the city, really in a forest close to a lake, very beautiful. And we are already kind of soft launching the place at the moment. So during this Christmas holiday period, we are going to have people go there to do some kind of mini retreat and also working. We have to renovate the whole place. And then hopefully in a few months, we will be able to offer monastery stays and also start offering retreats, also depending on, well, the pandemic and if people can come and stay. So I would like to show a few pictures of this new place. This is our abbess, Shefu Simplicity, and the building you can see there is the main building. This has 4 rooms for nuns, and at the moment there's also a meditation room because the meditation hall isn't finished, and a few more rooms, and this is already mostly renovated. So hopefully people can start living there fairly soon. And these are some of our kutis. So this place used to be a kind of holiday camp for children. So all these buildings were used to house children. And now in the future, hopefully they can house the Bhikkhunis. And there are 10 of these kutis, but they also need major renovations. So they don't have running water, they don't have insulation, and they don't have heating. So at the moment, they are not properly usable, especially not in winter. So hopefully over time, we are planning over the next few years to renovate them and to make them livable for guests and for retreatants and also for the Bhikkhunis. And this is the view of our property. As you can see, there's a big lake and the forest there. And this is our meditation hall. The meditation hall also isn't insulated at the moment. This will be done next year. So at the moment we are meditating in another room, and this will be professionally done by a company to properly insulate and finish and renovate this meditation hall. But I think it's very beautiful. And obviously, I think we can see that this will be a really, really good place to have retreats. We also have a guest house that is already mostly finished. The renovations are mostly done. And that house has 6 rooms, and those rooms can be used also by 2 or 3 people. So we can house quite a few people when we do retreats there. And as I mentioned, there's also the possibility to come for monastery stays when there is no retreat on. So people can come and live with the community. So this is our new monastery project. And I also wanted to use the opportunity, since there are so many bhikkhunis on this meeting or Zoom call, to give a little update on some other projects that I was doing. Ayyā Vimalañāni already kindly introduced the translation project that I've been working on for quite a few years already. So I'm translating the 5 Chinese Bhikkhuni Vinyas into English. And that's something I'm very passionate about, because the Bhikkhuni Vinaya is comparatively much less well preserved than the Bhikkhu Vinaya. And so, but we are very lucky that we have a lot of different versions of the Bhikkhuni Vinaya. So we have the Pali version, and then we have 5 Chinese versions from different early schools. And we also have a Sanskrit version and the Tibetan version. So if we have proper translations and if those texts are accessible to us, then we can do comparative studies, and we can get a much better understanding of how the Bhikkhunis lived in the Buddha's time, and how the rules were practiced, and how things evolved over time. So I think, to me, this is a really, really fascinating collection of texts. And I am, for this reason, I have been working on this for many years, and I'm still very passionate about it. And so far, I have finished a draft version of 4 of the Vinayas. So 4 of them have a draft finished, and 1 of them I am working at the moment. So the Mula Savasivada version is the translation that I am working on at the moment. And the Vibhanga is about 50% finished. And I'm also translating the Kandakas, or the respective texts that might not be called Kandakas, in the various Vinayas. So in the Mula Savasivada, this is called a Vastu, and I have not started with that Vastu yet, but the Vibhanga is almost finished. And then, of course, after that will be proofreading and so on, but things are making progress, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to make this available to the community. And another project that I've been doing this year, as also mentioned by Ayyā Vimalañāni, was the Terrigata Festival that I co-organized together with Bhante Akaliko in Sydney. And I think this was also a really wonderful celebration of Bhikkhunis coming together internationally, mostly Bhikkhunis, but also Bhikkhus and lots of lay Buddhists. Many people on this call made contributions. I know that Ayyā Sudhamma is on the call, Ayyā Tataluka made a contribution, Ayyā Soma contributed quite a lot. So we had 2 weeks where we celebrated the poems of the early nuns called the Terrigatas. And we had daily events and interviews with people, and people discussing the poems. And we had people from all over the world joining in. We had Bhikkhunis from Asia, from Australia, from Europe, and from the US. And I think it was just really, really helpful to talk about the wisdom of those early Bhikkhunis, and to give them some outreach and make them more widely known to people. And if people are interested in the videos, they're all still available on YouTube on the Terrigata Festival channel. And following on from the Terrigata Festival, because then there was so much interest in ancient texts and interest in the lifestyle of the Bhikkhunis. At the Buddha's time, I organized and taught this 3-month course, the foremost theories of all. And we examined the life of the nuns back then. So every session we talked about one nun, and we had a look at all the different historical layers of text, how the role of that nun was seen differently in different, throughout the centuries, how the role of that nun evolved, how the relationship that people had with women, or how women were represented in the text, changed over time. And for that, we didn't only take the Pali text into account, but we also covered Chinese texts, we covered Sanskrit texts and Tibetan texts. So we covered a broad range of Buddhist traditions, and we covered sutta texts, Vinaya texts, and Apadanas, and various other forms of text. So another thing that I really enjoyed doing, and that many people, I think, also enjoyed, because I got a lot of positive feedback, and there are some people now working on making transcripts of the sessions. So hopefully we can make it available at some point. And they're also hoping to turn them into a book. So hopefully at some point that will also become available. And if people want to still follow up on the recordings of the sessions, they're all available on YouTube also, on my YouTube channel, Vimalañāni Bhikkhuni. And finally, one project I wanted to mention that I was involved in, since Ayyā Vimalañāni has already talked about inclusion of LGBTQIA+ people. I had a cooperation with Rain Bodhi to make this book, or booklet, Welcoming the Rainbow. And as Ayyā Brahmavara already said, she enjoys those small drawings that I make about Dhamma and Vinaya topics. So I was invited to contribute the illustrations for this booklet. And I think we had a lot of fun designing this booklet and making this come to life. And this booklet was soft launched at the Queer Buddhist Conference in October. It is now downloadable from the Rainbody website, rainbody.org. And there will be a big launch in January. So hard copies will become available very soon, and there will be another big celebration to look forward to. And I just wanted to say how grateful and how blessed I felt to be invited to contribute to this project. And I think at this point, I probably have gone over time already. So thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for your attention. And I will give back to Ayyā Brahmavara. Thank you so much for having me. Your mic is off, Ayyā. Ayyā Brahmavara, your mic is off. We can't really hear you.
Thank you so much, Ayyā Vimalañāni. It's really wonderful to hear about the new monastery starting. Wonderful news. And also thank you for sharing about your work, which is so precious and valuable and a great benefit to all of us. Very, very pleased that you could join us and that you could convey all this very helpful information. I can see people, not everyone has heard about these various teachings that you've been offering, and now they know and they can tune in and learn from you. So thank you again. Wonderful. Moving on, we have another video next from Ayyā Sīlavaddhanī. She's actually teaching a retreat at the moment, so she can't be with us live. So she also very generously put together a video for us. I'll just briefly introduce her. Ayyā Sīlavaddhanī has been practicing Buddhism since '97 and ordained as a Mechi with Ajahn Tong at the beginning of 2010. And then in June 2012, she took seminary precepts. And in January 2019, took Bhikkhuni Upasampada. And both the seminary and the Bhikkhuni ordinations were with Ayyā Rahatongoda Sada Sumana Bhikkhuni as preceptor. In October of 2014, Ayyā Sīlavaddhanī was appointed as a meditation teacher by Ajahn Tong. She was living in a Thai temple near Frankfurt from April 2010 until 2016. Since 2018, she's been living and teaching at Dhammanikhom Vipassana-Meditationszentrum in Heinersbruck, which is near to Cottbus in East Germany, just very, very close to the border with Poland also. She's serving as the spiritual director of Dhammanikhom and offers many retreats and a lot of support to the community in that area. So I'd like to now invite you to watch this wonderful video from Ayyā Sīlavaddhanī.
This is a video message from Germany. First of all, if there's any monks joining, I wish to pay my respects to the Bhikkhuni Sangha. I wish to pay my respects to the Bhikkhuni Sangha and greetings to all the Dharma friends and practitioners who might join this program today on the Sanghamitta day. Unfortunately, I cannot join myself in live, and thank you very much for the invitation. I appreciate very much. And my name is Bhikkhuni Sīlavaddhanī, and I'm now located in the Dhammanikhom Vipassana-Meditationszentrum. We are in the northeastern part of Germany, actually more eastern part. It's only 7 kilometers by air from the Polish border. The nearest city is called Cottbus, and Berlin, it's about 2 hours away. So we are located in the rural area, but the center itself, it's in the middle of a small village, right in the middle, just maybe 150 meters from the church away. We are very well integrated here and very well accepted over the years, and feel very comfortable to staying here in this area. And I have been a nun for maybe now 12 or 13 years approximately, first ordaining as a Mechi in Thailand under the late Venerable Mahācāntōng Sirimangalo in the northern Thai tradition, in about 70 kilometers away from Chiang Mai. I have stayed as a Mechi, basically or mostly not in Thailand, because very fast he sent me to Germany into one of his branch monasteries nearby Frankfurt. So I stayed there in a Thai temple, and after 2.5 years I got the permission to ordain as a Samaneri in Sri Lanka with the Venerable Satta Sumana Bhikkhuni. And this is my Upajjhaya, how we say there, Pavatini. And after 7 years as a Samaneri, this is now only the 3 vasas, I've been ordained as a Bhikkhuni. So this year completed only the 3rd vasa, so still very young. And here, the Dhammanikhom Vipassana Meditation Center, we are like a branch of our Thai monastery, and we are basically performing the intensive courses for the Vipassana practice as in our main monastery in North Thailand, as taught by Venerable Ajahn Tong. So the people, they would come for 7, 10, 15, 21 days to join an intensive Vipassana meditation retreat in the technique tradition of the Venerable Ajahn Tong Sirimangalo, which is based on the Mahasi Sayadaw technique from Burma, for sure, sometimes from our long-term students and supporters, they are also sometimes coming longer time to retreat, helping, doing retreat. And so we also have activities for the Buddha days, let's say for the moon days, for the Buddhist ceremonies. We have close connections to the Thai community from the temple back when I stayed in the Thai temple nearby Frankfurt. But right now, mostly I'm the only nun here. This summer we had the first temporary Mechi ordination for 2 of my students. And so it's both. It's possible for practitioners, for women who are in practicing in this tradition and who are more experienced, and then if they wish to deepen their practice by also ordaining temporarily or also for longer term, this is possible. The facility is here. But also a second pillar, which is very important, is that we are doing the meditation courses for everybody, even people who never got in contact with the Buddhism or the monastic setting. They can join, and then slowly they will learn. But I'm not completely staying alone here, not possible. There's one long-term student of mine, Pasika Miriam, already back in Frankfurt. She was supporting me, and she's building up the center here and doing all the things which I'm not allowed to do, and all the driving and shopping and taking care for the meditators very nicely. So we have a good foundation, plus temporary helpers who are coming to support in the kitchen and also in the garden. This is quite suitable location here for the purposes. It's kind of an old farmhouse, and so there is an inner courtyard and different buildings going around this courtyard, so we can also have different accommodation for the men, for the women, for the nuns area. Even if monks would come to visit, we have suitable place to stay. Yeah, so recently mostly we are also fully booked, and this is fully booked for us as 12 meditators who are here, plus the inhabitants, and sometimes maybe another middle-term or long-term helper. And we are happy to be able to share the Dharma practice with new people, but also with already more experienced people, and very happy to see and hear how the Bhikkhuni Sangha is growing in Europe, but especially in Germany. Actually, the Dhammanikhom, we were this year, this December time, we were preparing small dana parcels from the association to all the Bhikkhuni centers or Bhikkhunis staying in Europe as far as known. And then we were starting to count, and quite surprised and happily surprised how many places already there. And also with our Venerable Ayyā Sucintā, our senior Bhikkhuni here in Germany, with whom I have been in contact already since I'm Mechi, and for sure also the Anenja Vihara, which is blossoming with a bigger community. I remember when it just opened, I think it was 2006 or something like this, 2007, with Ayyā Vimalañāni. When I went there to practice, it was just new, and now so many years later, growing and growing. So I think there is will be also some pictures I was asked to send, so I will supply them. And I hope this is a small contribution to your program, and I will be happy sometime to meet in live and maybe in real in future. So thank you very much, and I wish you a beneficial program in sharing and practicing the Dharma together. Thank you very much.
Do we have the pictures?
Thank you so much to Ayyā Vimalañāni, who I'm expecting will be watching this meeting later on when she's free. And what a wonderful sharing. And we do actually have some photos, so we're hoping to give you a look at those now. So here's the center. I won't say anything else.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the center, meditation center, Dhammanikhom. And we can just hopefully quite quickly just go through the various pictures that she sent us. Beautiful nature, wintertime. Can't quite make that out. I hope you're all seeing them okay. There's a little kuti, and I think we have an inside view as well coming up. A kuti on wheels. Look at that. Rather wonderful, simple dwelling. Again from the outside of the building and some of the grounds there. And here's the meditation hall. Beautiful, spacious place for practice. And the community, the current community at Dhammanikhom, with Ayyā in the centre, of course. And 2 Anagarikas and 2, I think, lay practitioners there with her. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Wonderful to see. Ayyā Vimalañāni Centre, Dhammanikhom, and also to hear from Ayyā Vimalañāni herself. And we have a great treat, which is that Ayyā Soma has agreed to say a few words to us spontaneously. We're so pleased to see you, Ayyā Soma, and we'll be so delighted to hear about your time in Italy and just a few words about your own path. And I'd like to very briefly introduce you. I know that you're the abbess, co-leader with Bhante Sudaso, abbess of the Empty Cloud Monastery in New Jersey, a wonderful ex-Christian monastery that's now a Buddhist monastery, a very beautiful place, and you offer so much support to the community with online teachings, and so many of us have benefited from tuning into your Empty Cloud. Really supportive, especially during pandemic. Extensive teaching program. So thank you so much for that. And I'm aware that you ordained as a bhikkhuni in the midst of the pandemic in a park. I had an outdoor ordination in the summer of 2020. So welcome, so pleased to see you, and we look forward to just hearing a few words from you if you're happy to share.
Thank you, Venerable, and thank you to everyone else for sharing all the beautiful things that are happening in Europe. It's actually quite heartwarming. And I'm really impressed that Ayyā Sobhana thought that I was Italian American. Maybe if I speak like this, it's more recognizable, but I'm actually born and bred in Italy. So I'm quintessentially Italian, but I've lived for the past 12 years in the US. So this is actually the first time that I'm in my home country, meeting Buddhist people. I didn't really know that they existed aside from Santa Citarama, which was the first Buddhist monastery that I set foot in this current lifetime anyway. So even though Santa Citarama was my kind of entry into the Dhamma, then really I kind of grew in Dhamma in the United States. So where I moved, 13 years ago. So it's very interesting to be back home. It's also interesting to have few duties and a minimalist lifestyle. For the past 2 months since I got here, I've only been, going Pindapata every day and sharing the Dhamma. So it's been quite the opposite of my life as a bhikkhuni in the US. So even though I'm young in Vasa, I have lots of responsibilities. So I smiled a little bit when you introduced me as abbot, because even though that's the role, I just have the role because nobody else wanted to get that role. So in order to, just have places where to practice as bhikkhunis, more often than not, we have to take on a little bit more responsibilities than what would be ideal to do, especially, being somewhat young in the path. But as Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi once told me, we don't practice despite the obstacles, but the obstacles are the path. So that has been my experience in running Buddhist Insights and opening Empty Cloud Monastery. And I want to thank all of the venerables here who have either come and spent some time with us in the US and shared Dhamma with us in the US and also online. Venerable Vimalañāni is one of our greatest hits, together with Venerable Phālanānī. So they've all been contributing lots of different teachings, both from the heart, from their experience, and also from all the studies that Venerable Vimalañāni has been doing. We also spent the Vasa actually doing comparative studies of the Vinaya, so that was an incredible contribution. So we see how, even though we're kind of in different countries and different environments, sometimes we're all interconnected. And of course, much gratitude to all the elders who have even, allowed us, more junior women to have such a sort of easier time to take full ordination, especially being in Italy. So I am the only other bhikkhuni, together with Ayyā Vimalañāni. And Ayyā Vimalañāni, we probably all know her incredible work and scholarly contribution together with Bhikkhu Anālio for Buddhism, but she's a little bit more secluded. So a lot of people in the peninsula don't really even know that she exists. So I have been the first bhikkhuni, whether Italian or not, that the people have met here. So actually, it's been an interesting journey. On one hand, it's been beautiful, once again, to just go around and not have many responsibilities. On the other hand, it's been a little bit odd because I kind of, I'm seeing firsthand what the other bhikkhunis in the US had to go through, in certain aspects, just because right now, in the US, it's not that common to find perhaps a bhikkhuni, but people are aware that they exist, and it's kind of like the sort of obvious form that women take when they go forth, rather than the other, less traditional forms that were later kind of created within the history of Buddhism. But here in Italy, it's there's a lot of different mythologies that are still present. Different hearsays. Actually, even in the encyclopedia, the Treccani encyclopedia, I was reading, because I'm finishing my translation of the Terrigata in Italian, but the English translation of the Terrigata is now in Sutta Central from Ayyā Soma. So if you'd like to give me your feedback, I would really very much appreciate. I did it from Pali to English, and I'm finishing it up from Pali to Italian. So I was looking up some things in the encyclopedia, and there's this entry on Buddhism where it says, well, the bhikkhunis weren't even ordained by the Buddha, like it was a later something that existed later on, and you know, just a bunch of like kind of mythology mixed with misogyny. And I was like, oh, this is pretty dramatic that in you know, the encyclopedia of the country there is such a thing. So it's on my to-do list to contact them and to, you know, kind of fix these details. But other than, you know, these kind of difficulties here and there of explaining this form and that it exists, and yeah, perhaps, you know, putting it in context, people are actually extremely happy. Also, after being in the US for so long, I had forgotten about the huge micro-identities that exist, well, in Europe and within each country in Europe. So I've been north, center, and south, and you know, there's so many different dialects. It's like a million different countries within the country, but people just have a different way. You know, while I was speaking Italian, like sharing actually some of the poems of the Terrigata in Italian, the ones that were ready, how people were relating to it, and how important it is to actually have a presence of both the Bhikkhu and the Bhikkhuni Sangha in each single country, and how that actually helps to root, you know, people in the Dhamma, and that it becomes not something that they just do, you know, on a Friday night or Saturday night or whatever, when they meet with their friends for an hour and a half, but actually becomes something. It becomes a spiritual practice. It becomes something that really permeates their daily life. So this has been really beautiful to see. Also, of course, the incredible work that Ajahn Channapalo, who's not Italian, but he speaks Italian, and he's British monk who is the abbot of Santa Cittarama, and for the past decades he's been sharing the Dhamma throughout the peninsula. So actually there's quite a bit of there's quite a lot of interest. It's still like, you know, nothing even close to Germany. It's but it's, you know, like little seeds that have been planted, a lot of interest. So I encourage you all to actually learn Italian and come share the Dhamma here in Italy, because everybody is interested. And people love Bhikkhunis. You know, maybe they have a bit weird questions, but yeah, there's lots of incredible opportunities. So we're thinking about actually opening something in the south of Italy, hopefully, and that will be open just like Empty Cloud is to every monastic who wants to come and spend some time. So the Italian place, the idea is for it to be a bit of more of a hermitage. So we can all have few duties and minimalist lifestyle, and go Pindapata every day. And we've done it, and it's feasible, so it's possible. And yeah, you all have an open invitation.
Ayyā Vimalañāni, your mic.
Sorry.
Sorry, my fault.
Big thank you to Ayyā Soma. It's so wonderful to hear from you. And all good news. Thank you so much. I want to just lastly introduce Ayyā Tisaranī, also from Germany, who went to refuge in the Mahayana tradition in 1997 and moved into homelessness in 2011 with the permission of her family. She's been practicing since then in Germany, in France, and also in Thailand. She took ordination as the seminary in March 2019 in Sri Lanka, and took Upasampada with Anuviditā, Ayyā Anuviditā, myself, and also Ayyā Kachayana here in September this year, with Ayyā Tataloka as preceptor. Ayyā Tisaranī is the resident bhikkhuni at Sirisampanno Monastery, and we can see you there, Ayyā. So wonderful to see you. She's been living at Sirisampanno since 2015 as the founder bhikkhuni. So over to you, Ayyā Tisaranī. Welcome and thank you for sharing.
Hallo, welcome, and ich freue mich sehr. I translate for Ayyā Tisaranī, so I'm very grateful and happy to be here. Ja, und wir haben ein paar Bilder zum Zeigen zuerst, aber wir brauchen. Yeah, and we want to share some pictures with you. So if we have we are allowed to share the pictures with the screen sharing, if it's okay. So can you see the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, so we start with little impressions of the building. It's like the building was at the very beginning. It was a really old house, and you see the plants coming into the house. And there's also the house at the beginning. So yeah, it was really tough work to make it even that you can live there. And here with a little bit of sunshine. And yeah, from the beginning, we invited monks and lay people to join and to. Von Hannover, aus Dhamma Vihara. Yeah, there are some monks from the Dhamma Vihara temple in Hanover. And there were at the early beginning days, there were people coming for practice days. Yeah, this is the building from inside. So yeah, a lot of stone and a lot of work to do. Some workers. Yeah, there were a lot of people like to help and to practice while working. And yeah, it's the old part of the building. It was a lot of grass.
Yeah, this is meditation room.
Yeah, this is this is the meditation hall going to be. So yeah, it's an old building, and yeah, in the next 3 years we want to do this as a big meditation hall for the nuns and also for practitioners who are coming. It's also the meditation hall, some workers. And here's
Thailand and yeah.
We have a venerable monk here from Thailand visiting us. And yeah, again, the building. And yeah, that's what we did. We have a new roof for the house, so there's no rain coming in. And there's some more work pictures. And we have a lot of nature here, so it's good to make the meditation walks through the forest.
Das war Abbruchhaus.
So yeah, it was really a house that nobody wanted, and it was like a ruin. And we started from zero, and we did not have a lot of capacitation or money so we all, yeah, the people had to work and to get this like it is today. And here's the meditation room where it's now.
Ist jetzt Mönch in Thailand?
Yeah, and this is one of the early helpers and practitioners, and he's now monk in Thailand
Seit 3 Jahren.
Since 3 years.
Bhante Selavansa aus Wien.
And there's Bhante Selavansa joining us.
Unsere spirituelle Leiter.
And he's the spiritual guide from our monastery, and here we're with him and doing some forest walks. There's some more work in the garden. We have like there were a lot of stones we were becoming from from a neighbor who gave it to us for Dana.
Next.
And he also with the neighbor who's really kind. And there's one kuti we finished this year. It's also good for praction because like we don't have so much space here in the main building yet. So we have 2 kutis now. And here's the meditation path in the garden.
Unsere Fotografin.
There's our photographer. And here's the meditation hall again.
With Ayyā Sucintā.
Here we have Ayyā Sucintā, who is here. Yeah.
From Pintapat.
This is the way from Pintapat home. So they do Pintapat. Yeah, once a week at the market. So two times. Sorry, it's 2 times a week they go for Pintapat, and that's where they start. And this is also the building in the garden. You can see a little bit.
The Anagarika Sirinanda.
There was where Anagarika Sirinanda, the ceremony of Anagarika. Our cat at the monastery. Yeah, that's it. So a last one, but at the moment I cannot find. Here it is. Okay, thank you. Can you still hear us? Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all these wonderful images. It's amazing to see how much work you've done to create the centre. It's so beautiful. And it's lovely to see how much support you have also there. Really good to see you. Thank you for sharing. Big thanks to everybody.
Do you want to go on and return to say a few words about the Sakyadhita in Germany?
Yeah, thank you. We're very rapidly running out of time, but it has been such a rich sharing. It really feels very uplifting to hear from everybody, so big thanks again. And we don't actually have time for discussions and questions and so forth, but just very briefly perhaps before we part, we're aware that there's news of Sakyadhita Germany just very recently was formally founded, I think on the 10th of December. And we're aware that Ayyā Vimalañāni, that you are the Theravadan representative for Sakyadhita. And this is all wonderful news. And so we wondered if you would be willing to perhaps close this session of sharing of the situation and all the happenings for Bhikkhunis in Europe with a little bit of news about this latest development. Thank you.
Yes, I will share just briefly because it's really getting late, and I'm so happy now. I have the mic. I can say that I'm really so happy about everything that is going on in mainly Germany, but also in other countries of Europe. I do believe that now the Bhikkhunis, the number of the Bhikkhunis outnumber the bhikkhus in Germany, perhaps. But if not yet, then soon. So therefore, it was very, very important to found or refound Sakyadhita Germany. Sakyadhita Germany has been an association already, but it was not yet very active, and it was not well known, and it had no formal activity and presence. Let's put it that way. So we asked the woman who was caring for that if it was possible to take it over. And there is a association called Brambo-Schälen-Stiftung, and some women of this group had been working on this, and we had the idea together in a meeting, and several very nice projects resulted from those meetings with the Brambo-Schälen-Stiftung. What I didn't mention is that we are also taking care of how you say that, education system for bhikkhunis or for young nuns who want to train. So we're working on a website, and we are also having other ideas what we can do about that. And so in this group of women of the Brambo-Schälen-Stiftung, there were two women, Carola Roloff. She is a very senior Tibetan bhikkhuni, actually, and teaching in Hamburg, and also a friend of hers, Gabriela Frey, and they asked if we would found it. And so the seat of the association, Sakyadhita Germany, is in Hamburg, and we worked for months on the Satzung, how you say that, and the statutes. So because in Germany the Buddhist religion is not yet acknowledged officially as a religion in Germany, so we want to make it waterproof, because we also want to promote the Buddhism in Germany will become unacknowledged religion. So, but Sakyadhita, of course, is for the women, and has its main work, like Sakyadhita International. We are a branch now of Sakyadhita International, and there were 14 women grouping for the meeting to found the Sakyadhita Germany, and it's now on the way to the approval. And we believe that in January we already have it approved, and then we can start to gather new members. And I hope that some of the bhikkhunis or the nuns here will become members of Sakyadhita Germany and active members. I am the like a counselor for the Theravadan Buddhism. We have a counselor for Chan Buddhism and Zen, and we have another counselor for the Theravadan tradition. And also we have Carola Roloff, the mentioned Tibetan bhikkhuni, as our president, and we have a treasurer called Dr. Thea. I don't remember Thea. I don't remember the last name. I'm very sorry. But she's very famous, actually. So it's very blameworthy for me to not remember the name. But we always spoke in, we only said our surname. So I'm very sorry. But I hope it's becoming very strong, because women in Germany are strong. And I think together with Canada, the German women are one of, I heard it, it's not my own idea, but German women, like the women in Canada, are really confident, are really confident. And I think, it's, I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I can't speak in English anymore.
Phālanānī, that's really wonderful. Thank you for that very helpful information and for sharing. And we can put the links on our chat for Sakyadhita Germany and also Sakyadhita International Association. Thank you for also bringing this into the meeting for us.
I think in closing, to honor all who have spoken, it seems that, I read something in organization theory or something like that, when there's a problem to be solved, and if you had one person who's extremely intelligent, who's the most intelligent of all, trying to solve it, or alternatively, if you had a group of people trying to solve it, the group will always come up with the best solution, a better solution than the most skillful individual. In this case, I'm so impressed. We spoke before about the interconnectivity of the different countries, of the different people, of how our training is fertilized by experience with traveling and visitations. And we also can see the different kinds of work that the Bhikkhunis are doing, everything from fixing the roof or fixing the heating system, going on alms round, the basic training and practice, teaching meditation, and then doing scholarly work to revive the understanding of our ancient roots. So all of these things are displayed so beautifully here. At the beginning, there was a mention of how Ayyā was like the sunrise, a shining light that continues to nurture the growth in Germany. And I'm aware that in the room right now is only the second Bhikkhuni, that Theravada Bhikkhuni we know of, who is from a Khmer, Cambodian background. There she is. And so in Cambodia, where the Sangha was very wiped out many decades ago because of war, and now we have the possibility of the Bhikkhuni Sangha again arising and becoming strong. And so in that country, even though it's a strong Buddhist country, just the early seeds are being planted. And we can see by the example of many other countries how there can be success, and with fellowship and mutual aid and mutual support, how the Bhikkhuni Sangha will grow, we hope, in every country of the world. So we're really gone past our time. I invite everybody to join me in giving a great sadhu, sadhu, sadhu for this.
Sadhu.
Sadhu. Thank you, everybody who listened and participated in this morning's program.
Excellent, excellent. Wonderful to see all this wonderful work.
Sadhu, thank you very much, everyone. Anumodana.